Deontay Wilder been around preaching more so than promoting Wilder versus Tyson Fury rematch. Now, during the promotion, he ran into Sky Sport and UK media outlets, and he checked all the media outlets in the UK and Sky Sports as well. The moment the interviewer from Sky Sport brought Dillian Whyte situation and conversation up to the table and even lied about Dillian Whyte's next opponent age, which is Povetkin, when we all know he's closer to 40 than 30. However, the interviewer tried to cover up for Dillian Whyte, claiming that he's 30 years old when Wilder asked him the question. When Wilder asked Sky Sport interviewer the $1 million question, which was, Dillian Whyte stay calling my name, claiming that Ortiz is old when I told him fight Ortiz. However, he's fighting a fighter that's 40 years old. His last opponent was 40 years old as well. And not to mention the fight before that, he got busted for 2 types of supplements that were banned. With that being said, I kid you not, the Sky Sport interviewer and the UK media try to cover up for Dillian Whyte, claiming that Povetkin is 30 years old, trying to play Wilder like a fool, like he doesn't know a thing or two about Povetkin, like he wasn't trying to fight Povetkin when he was undefeated, when people was claiming that Wilder is avoiding him. So what did Wilder do? He was trying to fight Povetkin in Russia. And what did Povetkin do? Took PEDs and got busted. And that's one thing in common Dillian Whyte and Povetkin has. However, Dillian Whyte wants to fight Povetkin but claims Ortiz is too old. But he wouldn't fight Ortiz to save his life. And to make matter worse, he wouldn't even fight Brazil. And to put icing on the cake, Ortiz is in serious negotiations with Andy Ruiz, the same guy Dillian Whyte didn't want to fight next either. So man, Dillian Whyte, he looking horrible at the moment. He must fight Ortiz. He must fight at least Andy Ruiz. That would have been a good look. And if not, I'm pretty sure by the time Wilder fights Fury and Anthony Joshua, if he's successful, Wilder already told him, I will give you the opportunity. And that's a check that Dillian Whyte talked himself into that he cannot cash. I'm fearful for Dillian Whyte's health, because we all know what happens with fighters that face Deontay Wilder and they have a grudge with him. I mean, Brazil is a living example. So Allah forbid anything bad happening to Dillian Whyte. But one thing for sure, he talking himself into a check that he cannot cash. And we all know who's at the bank. We all know what the bank is called. And that's no other than Bomb Squad. So if you don't have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. So I'm going to leave Dillian Whyte alone, because I'm pretty sure at this point he done digged his own grave with everything he done stated. I mean, he contradicts himself every time he's on an interview. He claimed Ortiz is old, but then faces a Povetkin that got busted twice for PEDs in the past. That's not himself anymore. Now, what sense does that make? You calling Ortiz old when he's a top 4 heavyweight and could have been a top 2 if it wasn't for Wilder, because of course he ran into a brick wall, and that wall is also called Wilder. So if it wasn't for Wilder, he could have been the man. He is the boogeyman, but he rather borrow AB. Anybody can get it. However, he don't want to act like AB and fight everybody, because AB fought a Sean Porter. However, we have Dillian Whyte, who doesn't want to face Andy Ruiz or Ortiz, but turn around, act like they avoided him, which is even more delusional, and fight Povetkin instead. And what makes matter worse is the fact that the UK media try to cover up Dillian Whyte and his actions of late. And I'm glad Deontay Wilder checked Sky Sport interviewer for acting like Povetkin is 30 years old, which was ridiculous. And Wilder checked him so bad that the interviewer, of course, when Wilder check you, it's called a G-check. You know what that mean? That mean in the US, you ain't gonna do ish about it. So if you're a media member, you can't put your emotion into your logic. You have to think logically, not emotionally. Instead of talking all rubbish like Dillian Whyte have been doing of late and the UK media have been doing of late. You have to separate your feelings and your emotions from your logic when you speak about the sport of boxing. If not, then just be a fan. Don't be a media member. However, of course, that's why new media is here, to give every fighter his credit and let the fighter shape his legacy. We won't shape it for you. With that being said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't. And listen to these decaf, aka dumbass casual fans. And of course, all the casual fans that want to be hardcore, all you have to do is attend the Aki University every Sunday live on Split Decision. It's a boxing debate / talk show where we give it to y'all raw and uncut, live. Call in, tune in. We want all the smoke, just like Deontay Wilder. And I know the show is called Split Decision because we give y'all two different perspectives. But I promise y'all, I'll keep be knocking out all these decafs like he's Deontay Wilder. And yes, I am speaking of myself in third person because I come first, second, and last. With that being said, I want to appreciate Dante for starting the new media wave that I'm a part of. And of course, shout out to Lunatoon Boxing for the funniest boxing memes. I will leave his link in the description box below. So follow him, follow me too at Aki TV, and follow DBN on all social media networks. And of course, cop the Aki merch if you want to be dripped up like the Aki be on Split Decision. Tune in this Sunday. Y'all don't want to miss it. And to be continued on the next episode of Aki TV. Peace, and we out.